Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rechakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and mercy to the Tazadak I came out there that's laboring this truth with all sincerity. I want to say Shalom. And I'm back at it again with another lesson. Just going into a few verses in Acts, the 21st chapter. You know, I was through the Spirit. I was reading it. And I just want to make certain points on, Paul being an Israelite, because you have people out there that's saying that the Apostle Paul, he was Greek. I just want to make a few points through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. And with that, I'm going to just start at Acts 21. I'm going to just start from verse 31. But the point I want to make is around the 38, 39 verse. So I'm going to just read on down. So this is Acts chapter 21, verse 31. And as they went about to kill him, tidings came unto the chief captain of the band that all Jerusalem was in the uproar. And now why was Jerusalem in the uproar? Because you had those who were zealous for Moses' law. They were accusing of Paul. They was accusing Paul of teaching that you're not supposed to follow, Moses' law. They accused him of, as well as they accused him of bringing Gentiles into the temple. And that's why, as well, when you read the verses on up, the people of the believers of Tyre, advised Paul not to go to Jerusalem because they knew they was going to try to kill him. So when the Apostle Paul, when he reached Jerusalem and he was speaking to the elders, the elders was telling, Paul, listen, man, just go into the temple and, pretend like you're, or participate, not say pretend, participate in a ceremonial law, that the Jews were doing. So they could basically believe, like, okay, maybe he wasn't teaching against Moses' law, which he never was. He was just saying that the law, having faith in Yahweh Shah is above the law. Okay? Because even the scriptures say Yahweh Shah said he didn't come to destroy the law, he came to fulfill it. You see? But we have to have faith in Yahweh Shah. And a lot of people at those times, the Pharisees, the scribes, they didn't believe in Yahweh Shah. They didn't have faith in Yahweh Shah. They only really believed in Moses' law, as well as they started to adopt their own customs. So even Yahweh Shah, when he was on the scene, he was rebuking the scribes and Pharisees, for creating their own customs. That's why the scriptures go into like the traditions of men. You see? So now, coming back to the point, when Paul was in Jerusalem, they was trying to kill him because they believed that he was teaching that you don't have to follow Moses' law. They was saying that Moses was allowing the Gentiles to come into the temple. So that's why it was an uproar in Jerusalem. All right. So it says, who immediately took soldiers and centurions and ran down unto them. And when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. Then the chief captain came near and took him and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains and demanded who he was and what he had done. And some cried one thing and said some another among the multitude. And when we could not know certainty from the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the castle. And when he came upon the stairs, so it was that he was born of the soldiers for the violence of the people. For the multitude of the people followed after, crying, away with him. So they was, following the soldiers, preaching, saying, kill him. All right. And when it says, when you read in the NOT, when it says, So it was that he was born of the soldiers. The soldiers had to lift him up and put the Apostle Paul and their soldiers to protect them, so they won't continue to beat on him. You see? So it says, verse 37, and as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? So asking the chief captain, do you know how to speak Greek? Because the Apostle Paul, he spoke Greek. They didn't make him a Greek. He just learned, he knew the language. All right? Because a lot of people will say that, hey, the Apostle Paul was Greek. And in fact, let's get Romans 11 just to prove that point. Verse 1. Romans 11 and 1. I say then, how have thy power cast away his people? The Most High forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. So the Apostle Paul, he came from the tribe of Benjamin, and he was an Israelite man. You see, so he was not a Greek. He just knew how to speak the Greek language. So going back into Acts chapter 21, or matter of fact, let me go right here. So Acts chapter 21, verse 38, that says, Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days made us an uproar and leadest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? So the chief commander thought the Apostle Paul was an Egyptian. Now, why did he think that? Because this proves that the Apostle Paul, he was a dark-skinned man. Now, let me go into this quick article real quick. When you go into the Zondervan of Ham, you see, let's read it. It says, the youngest son, Ham, the youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and of 8 persons to live through the flood, he became the progenitor of the dark races. So Ham was the progenitor of the dark races, not the Negroes, but the Egyptians, Ethiopians, Libyans, and Canaanites. So when you go into the scriptures real quick, I believe that's in Exodus, he separated the Egyptians. Let me just get it. Let me get it real quick. Salakia. Real quick. Just to prove the point, separated Egyptians from Israel. KJV. Yep, Exodus 11, Con. So this is the book of Exodus 11, verse 7. But against any of the children of Israel shall not a dog move his tongue against man or beast, that ye may know that the Lord Yahweh doeth put a difference between the Egyptians and Israel. So there were two different, nations. Literally, the Egyptians came from the line of Ham, and Israel came from the line of Shem, even though they were both dark-skinned nations. So going back into Acts, the 21st chapter, the chief commander thought the Apostle Paul was a Egyptian because he was a dark-skinned man. But in fact, we know now, when you read Romans 11, that the Apostle Paul, he came from the tribe of Benjamin, and he was an Israelite. He was a dark-skinned Israelite man. You see? So, verse 39, but Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus. And now when you go into the Tarsus, modern-day Tarsus is around the Turkey region. Now, I want to, go into why did, Paul say that he was a Jew of Tarsus, because now we know the word Jew comes from from the word Judah. And we know the Apostle Paul was not a Judite. So why did he just say, I'm a Jew from Tarsus? Because when you go into the history, the Babylonians, you name the children of Israel, all right, which we know the southern kingdom, the Judeans, all right. And when you go into the history of that, we know the Romans, when they conquered, they called them the Judeans as well, Salakia too. So the word came from when the Babylonians conquered, they named the children of Israel, the southern kingdom, Judeans. That's where you get the word Judea. As well as when the Romans took over, right? When they came to power, they kept on the name, Judean, Judea. So I just wanted to get that in the history real quick, just to prove my point of why he said he was a Jew from Tarsus. Because if he said he was a a Benjamite from the tribe of Israel, they wouldn't have understood. They wouldn't have knew what he was talking about. So he just kept it plain and saying, "Yo, I'm just a Jew from Tarsus." So I just want to get this real quick, and I'm gonna wrap it up. It says the name Judea comes from the kingdom of Judah, one of the successor states of the biblical united monarchy, which ruled all of ancient Israel, founded in 934 BCE. The kingdom ruled the lands from Jerusalem to Beersheba until its conquest in 586 BCE by the Neo-Babylonians. Okay? Going into what I was saying earlier. It reads, although the kingdom was destroyed, the name survived with the Jewish people and with the Jews. And when an independent kingdom once again reemerged in 140 BC, the land was referred to as Judea. This name even survived the Roman conquest of the kingdom and the Roman province, which was created from much of the former kingdom before the name Judea. Okay? So they was calling them, and then when you go even more into the history, they was calling them the Judeans. All right? Just going into how that word came about. Judea, Judeans came about. So a lot of people, they just referred to them as the Jews. You see, they didn't refer to them, okay, this particular Israelite man, he's from the tribe of Levi, he's from the tribe of Benjamin, or he's from the tribe of Manasseh. They just referred to them as the Jews, the Judeans. So now going back into Acts 21, it says, I'm going to read it again. But Paul, is Acts 21, verse 39. But Paul said, I am a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city in Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city, and I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. Okay? And I'm going to just wrap it up, finish it off with the last verse, but just to go into it. So he just kept it basic. Look, I'm a Jew from Tarsus, because if he said, I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, the chief commander wouldn't understand, because you have to understand the chief commander was a Roman. Just to make that clear, he was a Roman, so he definitely wasn't going to understand that he was from the tribe of Benjamin. So he just kept it simple, all right. And he was not a Judite; he was from the tribe of Benjamin. So verse 40, and when he had given him license, Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue, saying, and it goes on into the next chapter. But, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying. It was a quick lesson. And I want to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And with that, Shalom.